the next 90 years, Brantford Courthouse would change very little. It would continue as the seat for law and the justice system, servicing the needs of a dynamic economy and growing community. It would continue to serve as the offices of the Law Society and the courts representing the county and city of Brantford. Like many similar communities dealing with the shift from an industrial to post-industrial economy, Brantford found itself in the 1970s facing a period of economic decline. After decades of use, and with a community that was suffering from the effect of lost jobs and purpose, the courthouse found itself neglected. The 1909 renovations that modernized the building for the 20th century were in shambles. Incremental improvements had taken their toll, obscuring historic finishes. Historic windows had been removed, and electrical and communication systems were outdated and in disarray. In 2003, the Ontario Realty Corporation began the task of restoring and renovating the historic Brantford Courthouse. The work would be done in phases, beginning with the restoration of the roof and masonry. Provincial and national restoration standards would be used, and the work would begin immediately. Exterior restoration work continued for 8 months and would set a new standard for the courthouse. The courthouse was back on track. On January 24, 2005, a sprinkler main in the attic above the historic courtroom froze and burst. The damage was extensive and on all floors. Courts and services were closed and relocated. Historic finishes, early plasterwork, and floors were destroyed. The 1909 oak paneling began to warp. Glued connections of the stairs loosened. The north half of the ground floor was declared unsafe, and the basement was contaminated. It was clear that the renovations would be more extensive than imagined, and the work would have to be done immediately. The Ontario Realty Corporation, the Ministry of the Attorney General, and the Ministry of Culture for the province re-evaluated the scope of work that was ahead. They proposed to take this opportunity to address a broad range of restoration, renovation, and security upgrades to introduce the role of this historic courthouse in its community. Taylor Hazel architects were retained, and local heritage groups were brought into the process. The first task was the compilation of a heritage inventory and conditions assessment. It would be this plan that would guide all architectural and conservation work on the site. The proposal that was selected built on the 1852 neoclassical plan by extending the public corridor along the main axis to a new courtroom within the former 1860s caretaker's residence. The prisoner holding area would be relocated behind the courtroom, and a more secure route created to the courtroom on the second floor. Public counters for the small claims court and the superior courtrooms would be separated and relocated in restored ground floor rooms. Security systems would be introduced along with compact storage systems. A new Crown office and meeting room suite would be introduced. On the second floor, the 1852 courtroom interior would be restored along with courtroom 2 and the 1909 stairs. Finally, all public spaces would be restored and extended, including plaster finishes, woodwork, and tile floors. In the fall of 2005, the plan was adopted and the work began. Our appreciation of Brantford Courthouse is best understood not just for its exceptional architecture, but as a totality, including cultural and social significance. The people who served as judges and staff in the courthouse, the importance of the decisions that were made over time, and the support this gave the community, a vitally important resource for the ongoing interpretation of law and the administration of justice in the province. Some of its most distinguished members are recognized on these walls. Members of the bar, including honors: E.B. Wood, First Treasurer of Ontario; Arthur Sturgis, Premier and Attorney General of Ontario; Lawrence Pinnell, Solicitor General and Justice, Superior of Ontario; and the Honourable Ross MacDonald, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. Judges, including honors: Stephen Jones, Alexander Hardy, Donald James Cowan, Richard W. Reville, Edward O. Fanjoy, and Madam Justice Jane Melinetti. We are here to celebrate this history and heritage that is represented by this magnificent building. Brantford Courthouse has again demonstrated its value as it adapts and transforms itself to address the future. Brantford Courthouse has reminded us that heritage buildings do this best when their original design intent, when the materials and history that have accrued to them are respected and provided with the opportunity of expression. The result of this process is self-evident, and we are delighted to have you with us today to recognize the good work that has been done. By restoring this wonderful building, we celebrate as well our justice system and those who represent it in Brant County in its capacity to interpret law, seek justice, and evolve with the community it serves.